Estate Sale Adventures, number 185, Suitersville. The church sale in Suitersville isn't every weekend, so when it pops up, it's usually worth the trip. And after I saw some of the photos online, it went to the top of my list. The antiques were eclectic and very interesting. One of the first things that you saw was the Superior Vacuum Cleaner by Lanning Stone Sales Company. Patented in 1911, the green color really caught my eye. Second was this Crown Pump Organ by Chio P. Bent, circa late 1800s. But my favorite was this beautiful Westinghouse brass fan, manufactured around 1912. You can see the same fan in later episodes of the Downton Abbey series as a background prop. Another find were these carriage lamps, which were snatched up within minutes of me inspecting this one. And not quite an antique, this Lance cracker jar was in pristine condition, hence it being behind glass. There was also a lifetime's worth of vintage kitchen appliances. The toasters were pretty cool, but these jadeite sunbeam mixers looked brand new. And there were plenty of other kitchenware items that were definitely worth a second look. I really liked the red and white jar set and these pink and green martini glasses. And there's still so much to go through. The lighting was comprised mostly of hurricane lamps, a collection that rivals my own. This kerosene one was definitely intimidating. There was also a number of clocks of different eras and in varying states of condition, including a box full of movements. One could see every decade of the 20th century represented in the finds at this estate. But of course, it's the collections that stand out in the crowd. For instance, Kewpies are not my thing, but I guess it takes all sorts. And there are at least a dozen of these framed bird feather pieces sprinkled throughout the space. I just sold one of these porcelain floral pieces on Etsy, but this one is 4 times the size. I've probably seen 100 of these balloon lamps, but never in this good of condition. JFK memorabilia is pretty common at sales, but not so much with Bobby. The kid stuff is always worth perusing, including this 1970s Muppet lunchbox, and upon further inspection, decorated with a very interesting sticker on the back. So yes, I did purchase a few things, including this incense burner and this hollowed out clock case with the original beveled and concave glass. I was inspired when I saw it. Another project for my list. The next time Caring Transitions opens the church, come check it out. Be sure to also check out pghestatesales.com for other sales. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and find me on Etsy. Estate Sale Adventures, number 186. We traversed so many South Hills neighborhoods on that Saturday, and to be honest, not one sale stood out from the crowd, but there were still finds to be found. There's always the standard fare, like lighting fixtures, serving and stemware, decanters, other glass decor, and I always seem to spot the Royal Duncan Balloon Man and Woman statues, which are frequent flyers at estate sales. I also like this adorable pig farmer. I saw a Life magazine with Lee Harvey Oswald on the cover, a U.S. Army Training Center yearbook from Fort Knox, Kentucky, circa 1965, a bank bag from East Stroudsburg National Bank, and a vintage paper parlor fan from Cieslak Funeral Home, with the original party lines on it, and they are still at the same address in Brentwood. I'm always looking to highlight the things that are bizarre or kitschy, which are never really in short supply. For instance, a pictorial history of Jackie Gleason, some Cabbage Patch plateware, a first for me. Shell art never moves me, to be honest, and I'm fairly certain this is a trombone stand, but I could be completely wrong. So I had to do some research after seeing this statue for the 100th time at different sales. Made popular in the early 20th century and considered a very romantic gift, it's a bust of Beatrice Portinari, sometimes accompanied with a bust of Dante. This one is bronze, but I've seen them in marble, plaster, ebony, ivory, and they almost always run for top dollar. So I ended up purchasing this MCM ashtray / drink coaster combo, this small Catholic piece labeled ivory, and this Blessed Virgin chalkware statue, which I believe is a very large votive because of the hole hidden behind the rose. Make sure you check out pghestatesales.com for this weekend's sales. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and find me on Etsy. Estate Sale Adventures, number 187, Baldwin. After a long absence, let's start this off with the split-level Golden Girls time capsule house. The master suite immediately reminded me of Blanche's bedroom, with the palm wallpaper and the faux bamboo furniture. Instead of a lanai, there was a very retro dry bar in the basement, accompanied by a pool table. But it was this nightgown that sealed the deal. Number 188 in Mount Lebanon wasn't a traditional estate, but the finds were plentiful. There was statuary in brass and ceramic, this very handsome crystal and silver pitcher, and dozens of lamps of varying styles. And this is where I put my foot down. Why buy from a store when you have these at your fingertips? But maybe not this one. I also appreciate these Norman Rockwell prints depicting steel mill workers. Moving on to 189, also in Mount Lebanon, was my favorite of the day. When I saw this Noel post, I swooned, followed by a very significant gay gasp when I saw this hall tree. Claw feet, beveled mirror, tigerwood accents, but it wasn't in my budget. I thought this Children of Japan book was kind of cute, really adorable pictures, but by far I preferred this 1890s Shoal Hut toy piano, which is actually a sophisticated xylophone or a miniature Celestia. In the basement there was some vintage Barbie swag, this child's MCM chair, a very cute bird cage, and I'm honestly not sure what function this serves. And before I forget, the obligatory creepy doll. 190 in Glassport was a nice way to round out the weekend. It was a definite hodgepodge, which is my favorite kind of sale. An old house with small rooms, jam-packed with antiques and other finds. Unfortunately, no, the green glass didn't glow. Yes, the typewriter was very heavy. And who doesn't like a clown painting? Outside, there were several sets of vintage roller skates and dozens of toys and board games. The cash register was worth a second glance, but I couldn't identify what game this is from. Comment if you know. If this was a sale I could probably spend a fortune at. Because of the nostalgia more than likely, like this party line and this dusty pencil sharpener, still attached to the desk. One last thing, in the back bedroom of this house were hand-painted album covers all over the walls. One of those little details that probably won't survive. I ended up buying this cute little Prolotone plastic instrument and this classroom-sized chalkboard map of Pittsburgh. This one may be a keeper for my own personal collection. I expect to see you next week, so go on pghestatesales.com to see what's happening locally. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and find me on Etsy. Estate Sale Adventures, number 191, weekend of August 7th. So this Saturday was a bit of a bust. Too many sales to choose from and ended up picking the wrong ones for my taste. So the finds were kind of limited. But it's always worth seeing the time capsule spaces, like this very dated bar. My favorite find of the day was this 1940s Art Deco ever-bright smoking stand. The original Myco electric lighter still works, and it has the cigarette holders and ash pots. It was manufactured in Chicago. $45 is not a bad price. At another sale, I spotted these lithographs by French artist Georges Rodin, depicting children in various scenes. A little bit creepy for my taste. This 1960s souvenir ashtray from Harry's Bar in Venice, Italy definitely caught my eye. But even better were these vintage Marvel coloring books, pristine and unused for once. You always find something at these sales and ask yourself, who would buy this? Like a bunch of empty Tiffany boxes. And then 5 minutes later, you see bizarre things that you want for no reason, like this car decal for the Federal Bureau of Mines. A few more things to share, like these army photographs, an antique school desk, this hefty mid-century clock, and this very handsome mission-style cabinet. I should also mention this interesting piece of paper artwork, as well as this collection of home-recorded movies in clamshells, all with custom labels. I'm having flashbacks. Be sure to check out pghestatesales.com for this weekend's sales. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and find me on Etsy. Estate Sale Adventures, number 192. Hampton Township is a beautiful suburb north of the city, and this time capsule house was definitely worth the trip. Take a moment to soak up the palm leaf wallpaper and this Venetian glass mirror. They had the invoice, which shows that it was bought on June 21st, 1982 from DeVico Interiors on 5th Avenue in Oakland for $1,265. This place had some great taste. The piano was in tune, there was plenty of chinoiserie that was in really good condition, and I'm starting to see a theme with these rooms all having wallpaper on the ceiling, making me a little dizzy. So it looked like this cookie shooter was in pretty good condition. This J. Brenner print was not my taste. The Powder Puff Vanity doll set seemed to be in mint condition. But best of all was this life-sized hammerhead shark in the basement, like something you'd seen in an aquarium or a museum. It seemed to be fiberglass, but the teeth were definitely real. Before moving on, one of the liquidators was trying to sell me on this commercial deli slicer. Not today, buddy. Next is number 193 in Clairton. I love a mid-century grandma house, and this one fit the bill. First thing, I caught this candid moment when walking in. This living room set was really interesting. The upholstery looked brand new, and they all have the same matching floral details. Never seen glass block quite like this before. The dresser in the basement was pretty nice. The taxidermy is never a high point for me, and the furs are a consistent find. This one bought from Jason's in McKeesport and Braddock. I grabbed these lamps for dirt cheap. They may require a rewire. And these two Blessed Mother statues, which I plan on repainting. Last stop is 194 in McKeesport. Not a traditional estate, more like a community rummage sale, but it's still worth going. Lots of interesting finds, including this large collection of World's Fair memorabilia, lots of postcards like these and other things. I always love the amateur art that you find at sales, and the things you'll never buy, like a massive Yale safe. To wrap things up, this was the sale that I bought a wedding dress for $5. Here's a quick view of the unwrapping process. That satin halo headpiece is something. It's probably from the mid-'80s, and it has a very pretty tulip pattern lace bodice. Be sure to check out pghestatesales.com for this next week's sales. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and find me on Etsy. Estate Sale Adventures, number 195, Dravosburg. The first stop was right over the hill for me. Right off the bat, notice the blue Chevy chilling out front, already sold when I got there. And I totally forgot to write down the model and year. So this 1942 Colonial looks like it's been through several additions and remodels, producing a kind of maze inside. But that means there's plenty of interesting finds tucked away. Like these Girl Scout badges, the standard Steelers swag, and other bits of Pittsburgh history. I always look for the bizarre and kitschy stuff, like this Aruba souvenir filled with Christmas lights for some reason, a Shirley Temple creamer caddy, and here's something, a Dymo label maker. Next stop was 196 in McKeesport, another small colonial built in 1951 on a busy street. Now don't get me wrong, I love a cedar chest, but I really don't need two. Now being right across the street from a Catholic church, there was plenty of religious kitsch. Got a little creeped out by the swinging rosary bag, but the standout find was this late 60s peach prom dress with floral details and Point de Spirit lace sleeves. It looks so delicate, I'm just wondering how it survived. There was tons of finds from the Edinburgh yearbooks, at least 10 different ones, a very nice croquet set, and a very dated mirror and lighted shelving unit. Collections always stand out. This place had porcelain and ceramic nuns, plenty of milk glass, tons of Tobies, and completely unrelated, this cat print. In the basement, I spotted this small hex sign in the stairwell that I just had to have. Last stop was number 197 in Mount Lebanon. My girl Judy at JD Llama put this sale together, and as usual, so many beautiful things. There were so many eclectic antiques, they were all appraised and all priced pretty appropriately. What really got me excited was this collection of canes and walking sticks. I spotted this one, which reminded me so much of Downton Abbey's Violet character's cane. I thought the perfume bottles were beautiful, and something really special were these collection of hand-painted glasses. No two were alike, and altogether made a very pretty rainbow-esque color scheme. There was also plenty of Fiesta wear, not really my taste though. One last thing, what the hell are these? Comment if you know. Be sure to check out pghestatesales.com for next week's sales. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and find me on Etsy.